overcoming the due on sale objection. So I sent out a contract this morning for a sub two deal, and the agent's and the seller's main concern is about the loan being called due. So I just got off the phone with the agent. I'm going to share the call here. Let me know what you think.
So I think that's doing my job as their realtor is to make sure that they are protected.
Right.
Looking at this, truly, it seems like maybe it would be a little bit more risk for y'all than it would be for them. But I don't know. I'm not an attorney, so I just think that it's better that they talk to the attorney directly to say, this is what can happen. And then what happens if that happens?
Right. Yeah. So,
So that's what makes it better.
yeah. So I totally get that. And that's fine if they want to look, have an attorney review it and then go from there. But yeah, so I did put in the special provisions because it really just sounds like the due on sale is the main issue, which, one that like rarely ever happens, but I get that, they want to see like what would happen in that case. And I think we kind of covered a couple things as I was telling you about the executory contract. So in the special provisions, I put on there what would happen if the due on sale clause got called. Either one, we would have the option to just buy it outright or refinance it or whatever and pay off that loan. Or two, we would just give a fee or simple fee title back to the seller. And so that would be like an agreement for sale, basically, where the deed would be back in their name. I'm still the owner of the property, responsible for everything, taxes, maintenance, insurance, everything on the property, still making the payments. It's just like, like I explained to you, like a new car loan, basically. I wouldn't get the deed until it's completely paid off. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of protections in there. And with that in the contract, that'll be in the promissory note. And yeah, I mean, that shouldn't create any issue though.
Well, I mean, theoretically, it sounds like a win. I mean, it absolutely does. However, this is something that, these subject twos, the way that you guys are doing this now, this is pretty new. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that it's new. Wraps have been around forever. Right. I mean, I totally get that. But this is new territory for everybody because we've never historically, not in my lifetime, and I know not in your lifetime because you're probably younger than me. We've never been in this position before where interest rates on these VA loans are so incredibly low comparatively that it's such a, you know what I mean, that we'd even need to do something like this. So I just think that, what happens if, even in your email you said, we're doing, 1 to 2 of these a week. So you're doing a substantial amount of these. What happens when these big lenders start to figure this out, that these borrowers are defaulting, on that's not necessarily, well, they kind of are defaulting because they're doing something that's prohibited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking that won't happen, but what if? You know, I mean, how do you prevent them from being foreclosed on, even if you deeded the house back to them? What if that's not enough for the lender? What if they're like, no, you've already broken the terms of you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not an attorney or a lender, so I couldn't necessarily say that like, that I don't know, that kind of sounds like it would be illegal, honestly, for them just to be like, oh, okay, well, even if it's back in your name, we're still calling it due. I don't know like what terms or whatever's in when you signed the loan documents originally to be able to say something like that. But I mean, really, like, the lenders, they're not in the business of owning the house. So, like, if someone's making the payments, I think we kind of had this conversation before. Like, if they're making the payments, they're in the business of making money, not owning real estate. So, I mean, yes, maybe they would call it due because, they're like, okay, here's a super low rate. And then we could, charge 7% or something. But with it going, like I said, with the fee simple title, with it going back to them, that should immediately solve the issue. Or two, then we just, refinance it as the buyer and pay off the loan.
That would be something that could be like legally binding, where if for some reason, I don't know, if for some reason that's not good enough for the lender, should we run a process that you will refinance it?
Um, I mean, yeah, we'll definitely explore different options, but I guess I don't know how you can't really like I can't just put in the contract like I will refinance the house if this happens. Like I put the option in there saying like, hey, if
Yeah.
the as the buyer, I have the option to either do simple fee title, which I spoke with an escrow officer, which they told me that that should be completely fine and is good to have in the contract, and that would prevent the due on sale. And if not, then which or just I would have the option to refinance it and buy it if I chose to.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, like I'm not saying that there's no risk involved or whatever that may be, but like honestly, the due on sale is probably like the smallest. Like I get it's like a large thing because it's a large amount of money, but it's like the smallest percentage of it happening or like the least amount of worries right now compared to most other people are like, oh, what happens if you miss a payment and all this stuff, and like I get that that's a thing, but mainly the due on sale is it rarely happens.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then that is actually another concern. How will the sellers be alerted if you do miss a payment? I mean, are they going to have to check every month? Because that's going to be a pain in the ass.
Well, so we'll have a third party servicing company. So they'll be pulling the money out of my account and making the payment to the lender every single month. And the seller will get an email every month
Okay.
showing kind of similar to like their mortgage statement now, showing, okay, here's the payment, here's principal, like, yes, it's been paid. So they'll definitely, be able to know if it hadn't been
Yeah.
paid or if it's been missed.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll definitely pass all of that along. I just, at the end of the day, it is entirely their decision. It's not mine, but I'm only, doing my job to make sure that they know
Right.
all the whole picture of it and what to expect. And because I don't want them to come back to me in a year and be like, "Hey, we're getting foreclosed on," and then I'm like, "Shit," you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no.
Hopefully that.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, yeah. So you sent it over to your attorney first before you send it over to them. So I guess when will you be showing it to them? And then,
Yeah, no, I sent it to them as well. I just I mean, they can read through it, but they're gonna have questions. And they're gonna want to hear from someone who's qualified to speak to them about it.
okay, perfect. Yeah, I would really just say like with their main concern, I definitely did everything I could in the special provisions to like help alleviate their, stress of it getting called due. And that I think that those are the best two options. And they're both outlined in the special provisions.
Okay, okay, I'll pass it along, and I'll keep you posted when I hear back.
Perfect. Do you think, I guess, is the attorney, is he or she pretty busy, or like, do you think they'll be getting back with you and the seller like, tomorrow or today?
Emailed them about something separately yesterday and never heard anything back. So I don't know, and I would say maybe by tomorrow or something like that.
Okay.
And if I haven't heard back, then I'll send them a reminder.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
All right. Thanks. Talk soon. Bye bye.
All right, so now we're just going to wait for the attorney to get back to her and see what they had to say, and hopefully we'll have a signed contract tomorrow. Let me know what you guys thought of that call down in the comments, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them. Also, if you guys have any sub-2 or seller finance deals that you already have locked up and you need help finding a buyer for, or if you just need help locking up the deal, I can help get on the call with the sellers or with the agent and help you lock up the deal. For both of those, if it's under contract or you need help locking up the deal, please submit it to dealswithryan.com. Again, that's dealswithryan.com. Love to help you out. Catch you next time.